Okay, let's move to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, I don't know, this doesn't seem like a wild offseason for Cleveland. It's just a couple of questions, right? Like, I'm assuming they give Darius Garland a max.
He's another guy we didn't mention with Detroit. I think that's possible.
Well, Darius Garland is not a.
I'm sorry,
extension
Colin Sexton. I'm thinking
Colin Sexton.
Colin Sexton is what I'm talking about. Yes, I think they give Darius Garland a max. Yes,
I think they give Darius Garland a max. Colin Sexton is now interesting.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what his number is. You could tell me it's qualifying offer from Cleveland. You could tell me it's 4 years, 80 million, anywhere in the middle of that. Like, I have no idea how to gauge him. And it's in part because there are so few teams that can offer him $20 million.
Right.
So do one of those teams value him enough to jump in with him or not? I don't know the answer to that question. I think that's a hard one.
I think Detroit likes him. I don't know if they love him. I know the idea they've always favored having another ball handler next to Cade, a combo guard to help take the pressure off him. Sexton fits that bill. He's also a scorer, addresses 3-point shooting, doesn't really aid in kind of the culture they're trying to build defensively, and small guard, kind of been a staple in Pistons as of late. Not the biggest guard, but they've notoriously had smaller guards.
Yeah.
But for the right price, like, I'm not the biggest Colin Sexton fan, but I've also only watched Colin Sexton play for a crappy Cavs team. So I don't know if the book is fully out on him, but I understand the appeal, and I think he definitely does fill voids for Detroit. I personally wouldn't give him more than like 18. I would be hesitant to go like 4 for 80, but I mean, it's a guy that can get you 20 points a game and shoot a high 30s from 3. That's kind of what those guys go for, and he's young.
Well, he needs a shot creator next to Cade who can get a shot at the end of shot clocks, which is valuable. Let's say that this draft goes Keegan Murray for Detroit. They sign DeAndre Ayton. Then they still have the hole at like the combo guard spot next to Cade, someone who can play both on and off ball. You end up this offseason with Detroit, Colin Sexton, DeAndre Ayton, Keegan Murray. It's not a bad offseason. Like, no. I think that probably pushes them into an interesting space moving forward in the Eastern Conference. And it's an interesting first core for Cade. Because look, these guys who are centerpieces so quickly, they go through multiple cores. Like, you can make it, like, you can go through a first set of players. If it doesn't work, I think as long as you could move guys, you could move them and you make it work. If I'm the Cavs, do I look to retain Colin Sexton is my question.
I say no.
I would rather sign and trade him for something, I think.
I'm with you. I don't know if I don't know. Colin Sexton's style of play, I think, could be a little funky for what that group built last year.
Yep.
I just don't know if the cohesion is as intriguing if Colin is there and as dominant with the ball as he can be. I would keep the ball in Garland's hands. I would continue to infiltrate or continue to have Murray. Gosh darn. Mobley be a focal point. And then I would try to I would go for like maybe a more traditional wing if I were Cleveland.
I agree with you. I have been long on the train that I think that Colin Sexton and Darius Garland as a backcourt does not work in the playoffs. And thus, this is your chance, I think, to make a semi-clean break where you can get something back. You don't have to worry about what Colin's next deal is and how that impacts things moving forward. You don't have to worry about the fit of him and Karis LeVert and Darius, worrying over touches there on top of, Evan Mobley getting touches, on top of Kevin Love getting the touches that he got last year. I like the idea of them just trying to sign and trade him and kind of moving forward. Do they try and extend Karis LeVert? So they have real flexibility that they can get in the offseason going into the 2023-24 season.
Mm-hmm.
Any LeVert deal changes that. And really, like any Collins or any Darius Garland max changes that, but they have enough cap flexibility moving forward here because Evan Mobley is so good already, and because Jared Allen's only on about $20 million a year,
right?
That they're going to be able to clear out that roster, clear out their books, and kind of make it work. I would venture they probably do not extend Karis LeVert because of that. And I think they look toward flexibility moving forward.
I would think so too. For as much as Karis could bring to that second unit and how important it is to have kind of like the get hot quick guy, just the money he's probably going to command. He's already at 18. I don't think like he's been poor enough that it's anything less than that. Whatever he signs next, I don't think it's worth it. And I think you can maybe find what he brings elsewhere. And for Cleveland to keep the flexibility, I think it is important because they do have something brewing and they could be a piece away at some point. And just to have the flexibility to do something like that, I think is important. So I'm rolling with you.
All right. Finally, they just need to find like an impact wing at the end of the day. Like, I don't even have names. Like, draft one at 14, Ousmane Dieng, Jalen Williams, draft a guy that you think can be a good wing, basically. Someone between 6'4" and 6'7" who can guard, who can create shot. Like, it's harder to find than you would think, but find one, please. Like, that's
they
my
need
take.
One. Yeah, I thought they were going to be hot on the Jeremy Grant train, but they need to address that because I think that's the piece they're right there from being like actually serious. They need that piece, and it's not easy to find, but there are some guys in this draft, as you mentioned, that could be there for them at 14, and I think could make an impact right away.